They've seen her before. Balconies, ceremonies, silent waves. But this time, something is different. Because Princess Leonor isn't just being watched anymore. She's being measured. Spain has entered a moment where attention feels heavier, quieter, more intense. And at the center of it all stands a young woman who rarely speaks, never complains, and understands that every step she takes now echoes decades into the future. Princess Leonor is stepping forward, and Spain is watching her every move. For years, the image was familiar. A young princess standing slightly behind her parents. Calm, observant, almost protected by silence. The country saw her as the future, but a distant one. A promise, not a presence. That illusion no longer holds. Because recently, Leonor hasn't just appeared. She has arrived, and the shift is subtle enough that some miss it, but powerful enough that institutions, media, and citizens feel it instinctively. Spain isn't just observing a royal coming of age, it is assessing a future head of state in real time. The first thing people notice isn't what she says, it's how she carries the weight. There is a discipline in her posture that doesn't come from rehearsals. There's restraint in her expressions that suggests long conversations behind closed doors. And there is something else too. A quiet understanding that her life is no longer her own in the way it once was. She has stepped into visibility at a time when Spain itself is searching for balance. Between tradition and modernity, between skepticism and continuity, between a monarchy shaped by history and one forced to justify its relevance daily. And Leonor stands right at that crossroads. Her recent public roles aren't accidental. They are intentional, carefully timed, carefully framed. Each appearance answers one question while raising another. Why now? Why this pace? Why this silence paired with such visibility? To understand why Spain is watching so closely, you have to understand what has changed. Leonor is no longer just the heir. She is becoming the symbol. When she took her constitutional oath, it wasn't just a legal formality. It was a psychological shift. For the first time, the country wasn't imagining her future role. It was acknowledging it. From that moment, the tone changed. Every uniform she wears, every ceremony she leads, every time she stands without her parents beside her. These moments aren't just milestones. They are tests. And Leonor knows it. Her military training is perhaps the clearest example of this transition. Not because it's dramatic, but because it's deliberate. Long days, physical exhaustion, hierarchies where her title offers no shortcuts. A system designed to strip away privilege and replace it with discipline. For Spain, this matters deeply. The monarch is not meant to rule politically, but symbolically. As commander-in-chief, as a unifying figure, as someone who understands sacrifice not in theory, but in experience. Leonor's training sends a message without saying a word. She is not above the institution. She is being shaped by it. And people are watching how she responds. They notice that she doesn't seek attention. That she rarely reacts to praise. That she absorbs criticism with the same calm as admiration. This restraint isn't accidental, it's learned, and it's heavy, because behind the polished appearances is a young woman navigating expectations few her age could imagine. Expectations shaped not only by history, but by the shadows of the past. Spain's monarchy has endured public doubt, scandals, and moments of fracture. Leonor has grown up aware of that reality, not shielded from it, but educated by it. Which is why her role feels different. She is not being presented as a fairy tale figure. She is being prepared as a corrective one. Where others spoke too much, she remains measured. Where others sought popularity, she embodies duty. Where others blurred boundaries, she reinforces them. And that contrast is not lost on the public. Still, admiration is only part of the story. There is tension too, because watching someone this closely creates pressure. And pressure reveals cracks, or strength. Every appearance sparks analysis. Every gesture is interpreted. Some see composure, others see caution. Some praise maturity, others wonder about authenticity. Is she reserved by nature? Or trained to be unreadable? Is her silence strength, or strategy? The truth likely lies somewhere in between. Leonor has been raised to understand that words carry consequences far beyond intent. That a single sentence can become a headline, a misstep, a symbol, so she speaks when it matters. And stays quiet when it doesn't. That silence creates space for projection. People imagine who she is, who she will be, who they want her to become. And in that space, expectations grow. Spain doesn't just want a queen. It wants reassurance. Reassurance that the institution has learned. Reassurance that the future won't repeat the past. Reassurance that continuity doesn't mean stagnation. Leonor is expected to embody all of that without ever saying it outright. And that is no small burden. Her relationship with her parents adds another layer. King Felipe and Queen Letizia are not fading figures. They are still active, still central. Which makes Leonor's step forward even more delicate. She must emerge without overshadowing. Assert presence without challenging authority. Lead without appearing impatient. And she does. Often by standing just half a step ahead. Never too far. Never too late. The family dynamic reflects this balance. Public unity. Private intensity. Shared purpose. Separate roles. And through it all, Leonor remains composed. Not distant. Not cold. But focused. There are moments, though, when the mask softens. Brief smiles. Natural reactions. Interactions that remind people she is still human. These moments matter. Because they prevent the image from becoming rigid. They allow connection without vulnerability. And Spain responds to that. Public perception of Leonor has steadily shifted from curiosity to respect. Not loud approval, quiet confidence. She isn't trending because of controversy. She isn't followed because of scandal. She is watched because she represents something rare in modern public life. Consistency. In an era of oversharing and instant reactions, her restraint feels almost radical. And yet, that restraint is exactly why Spain pays attention. Because when someone speaks so little, every action becomes language. When she wears a uniform, it says something. When she leads a ceremony, it says something. When she stands alone, it says something. The monarchy understands this. That's why her appearances are spaced. Her exposure controlled. Her growth visible but never rushed. They are building credibility slowly. Because credibility, once lost, is hard to reclaim. Leonor is being positioned not as a solution, but as a continuation done differently. And that difference is what keeps people watching. Not with excitement, with interest, not with devotion, with evaluation. Spain is not asking whether she will be queen. That is settled. Spain is asking what kind. And Leonor seems aware that the answer won't come from speeches or declarations. It will come from years of consistency, of showing up, of holding steady when others falter. That kind of leadership doesn't announce itself. It reveals itself over time. So when Princess Leonor steps forward now, it isn't dramatic. It isn't loud. It isn't framed as a turning point. It feels inevitable. And that is why Spain is watching her every move. Because the future isn't arriving suddenly. It's unfolding carefully, one measured step at a time.